Did you ever find out what illness your housemate is dealing with, Giorgio?
No, they were not able to tell her anything outside of, they think it's some sort of viral deal, and it's a upper respiratory-like problem. And my sister did, though, and I can't remember the name of it. She told me that she has a friend that's been battling it for like 5 or 6 weeks, and it's like COVID-like symptoms.
COVID doesn't last 5 or 6 weeks.
I know, but that's what it is.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that this sounds worse if you got to deal with it for a long time.
Yeah. And she's had it for a week and hasn't really got much better.
Dang it. I'm glad I'm not standing in line with you then, because you may have gotten it.
I have steered clear of her. I've gone to movies. I've gone out of town.
You've been Barbenheimering it.
I've slept in a different bedroom. We've really stayed away from each other.
Well, that's good, because I think that I am so susceptible to illness right now because I have not obtained sleep, my deep, restorative, creative slumber that I require.
What's going on?
Well, last night I was trying to make sure I was ready for this trip, and it just seemed like there was one thing after another I had to do. Because it's not only packing for the trip and everything, but getting the place together before you go.
Mm-hmm.
You know me, I always have to plan for my death every time I travel. And so that's just a lot of estate planning you have to do. Putting your documents out there, making the no funeral sign, setting it up, making the little altar to yourself.
That's weird.
Yeah. Where people can come and pray and grieve you.
I know what you mean. I look at that in terms of yard work. Like I'm going to be gone for a week and a half, so I get all that squared away in the last couple of days.
Yeah, you try to mow the lawn at the last possible second.
Yeah.
To make it last.
Walking in at dark 30 last night, finishing up.
Yeah, I did the lawn thing of where I usually always mow at the highest level. At the very highest level. Because St. Augustine, you're supposed to mow that at about 4 inches. As high as you can. Yeah.
Okay.
What are you going with?
I think I'm up to 4 now.
Okay.
I usually do 3 in the spring and then up to 4.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You're doing it right. But this time I went ahead and knocked it down a half inch more than that. I didn't want to,
so it wouldn't be
but
so
I didn't want to
overgrown.
stress the grass because you can only take a third off at a time. And but yes, so
Scalped it.
I scalped it so it'll look almost normal, hopefully, when I get back. But yeah, the yard work, the packing, the making sure everything's put in place, and all that. It just is a lot. It's a lot of stuff. Other people don't do this, I don't think, because they must travel more frequently for work. Right?
Right. Yeah,
we travel less frequently than most people that have jobs, right?
Twice a year, maybe 3
Depends on the
times a
job.
year.
Yeah.
But we travel Super Bowl and training camp.
And that's it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's not very much.
There could be another random trip here or there, but...
Well, as we get on the plane today, I talked about last time how I had the whole plane was sleeping. It was a long-haul flight.
Beeping.
And one person decides to pull their window shade halfway up, and it was so bright in there, it was like they were defeating the whole purpose of all the shades being down and the lights being turned down, which was they were trying to simulate nighttime because we were traveling overseas. Well, I was wondering why someone would pull the window open there, and Graham gave us, our good UK correspondent, gave us a good explanation. He says, I have to have my window open sometimes because I have a claustrophobia issue in the cabin. When it becomes dark, but yet it's light outside, having the window open just a little bit, maybe a third, maybe a half, I can at least look down and out. He said it's hard to understand if you don't have claustrophobia. But the seat right in front of you is pressing in on you, and if you can have a little bit of depth to your vision, which is what the window will provide, you can look out there. Mm-hmm. That makes you feel like there's an escape, even though there isn't one.
That's right.
And George, you suffer from claustrophobia.
Yeah, I would say a mild case. With me, it just as long as the plane moving helps me.
I don't get that. You're right. but I'm wondering why that is.
I don't know. But
Why?
I start flipping out if we are stuck.
You would think that sitting on the ground would be a lot more comforting to you than flying through the air,
I know.
where there's a possibility of crashing.
Is it the same thing as you would rather be traveling through side streets in your car than sitting on the expressway in stopped traffic?
Maybe.
You just need to be moving. There's something about us psychologically.
Why is that?
I don't know.
But yet, the thing we want to do more than anything else is hurry up and get home where we can sit and not move.
Right.
And I think it's almost an air situation. Like if the plane is moving, especially this time of year, if the plane is moving, taxiing or in the air in the cabin is moving. You know,
What?
yeah.
It is?
Oh, yeah. It moves a lot more than if you're just sitting there. Those air vents, they're working, but I don't think they're blowing like they do when you're up in the air.
I think you're on to something.
Well, okay. I thought you were talking about the outside air is making the inside air
No, the
move.
little
You're just
vent
talking
inside.
about revving an engine.
Yeah, I'm talking about the air inside the cabin. That's why, and another real bozo move by you two, that last time whenever it was, we came back from training camp and we were stuck on the tarmac for 45 minutes. That's what gets me more than anything, and that's where the walls start caving in for
closing in on
me
you?
as if I don't have enough air. And that flight attendant was so nice and let me stand up in the back of the plane. There was air moving back there. And I got away from you two bozos.
What were the texts? I don't understand.
Boy, I don't know about you, but I'm having a hard time breathing. Yeah. I think we may be stuck here for 3 hours. Just back and forth.
It's just like there's not enough oxygen or something.
Collar feels tight.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happening.
I heard the flight attendant talking. She says she thinks there's something seriously wrong.
What was that? What was that drop from?
Is that you after a save shot?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. That's really creepy. When someone just comes back to life all of a sudden. They're dead, and then all of them.
Do they always make that noise?
Seems like it in movies. They always do.
Yeah.
They always got to open their mouth wide and breathe in at the same
That
time. Their
may have
eyes are
been
popped
your
open.
Anne Heche play, too.
What?
May she rest in
What is
peace.
I tell
Anne
him
Heche
that.
play?
I think that's what that's from.
Oh yeah.
They
he
gave
is
her
right.
a save shot?
No, do you remember in the Anne Heche video there was a helicopter flying overhead after Anne Heche, the actress, she went on this crazy jaunt, I don't know what you'd call it, where she's driving her car like 100 miles an hour through a residential area. She plows into a house, the car catches on fire, and emergency crews respond. Well, of course, there's a Muse helicopter out there, and it shows them taking her out of the car and on a stretcher. They have her completely covered because she has burns on her, and they're taking her to the ambulance. It almost looks like a dead body because they got her completely covered. And then right before they get to the ambulance, all of a sudden she throws off the sheet and everything and tries to get off the gurney.
Huh.
Yeah. And
never
that's where I
saw
think
that.
that
She
drop
becomes
came from.
reanimated.
Oh, wow.
And then she died in the hospital a few days later.
Terrible.
They pulled the plug on her.
Way to go, Gordon.
They don't pull the plug, do they? It's turning off the machine.
Right. Only our moms.
Yeah, our moms
said.
were always about they just pulled the plug. It's just so rude. Not even a little kindness or lovingness in it. They just pulled the plug. Yeah, they were a vegetable, so they just pulled the plug. They turned into a vegetable. Anyway, but this will be a quick flight, right? How quick is it out?
3 hours.
3 hours, and since we're going to California,
We're going against the jet stream.
I could go see the house that Anne Heche crashed into.
You
What do you mean
probably
you
will.
could? You will.
Any other macabre sites you guys want to see?
Brutal and macabre or just macabre?
I don't understand that reference.
Have you guys
You lay
downloaded
out.
a movie for the flight, or are you bringing a good book?
I'm bringing noise-canceling headphones, and I'm going to try to be snoring.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's my plan. I can't wait to see the meal that they serve on the plane.
I think
Really
it's going to
excited
be
about
pretzels and water.
Yeah, that better be
I think it's going to be a
on the
prison
terminal
meal.
before we take off.
I'm expecting a full 3-course meal.
No,
They're not doing that?
no.
At least I'm in the B group, so I probably won't have to sit in the middle.
Right.
The middle is a special kind of hell.
You could get the window seat right in front of the lavatory, or you'll get an aisle seat.
Okay.
But you're going to have to hear people do their hell right behind you.
That's another thing that makes a crazy sound. The plane basically is waking up from a save shot every time you flush it.
Yeah. Why is that so violent?
I don't know. It seems like they could retune that flush in there. It's always the plane just intaking someone's doo-doo. And
It does sound like an evil monster breathing in.
okay, finally, dubious record. There's a harpist. Did I do this already? A harpist who's trying to set a world record that I think is bogus?
I think so.
And she's doing it for a good cause. God bless her. I think it has something to do with cystic fibrosis or something like that. She's raising money.
But you think it's bogus?
Yeah, because setting the Guinness World Record for the highest harp concerto. It's like the
highest.
Yeah, she's
Like
going up Mount
octave-wise?
Kilimanjaro and performing some piece of music at like 16,000 feet or something.
She's lugging her harp up there? Okay,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Well, yeah, it should be a harp lugging record. It shouldn't be a harp playing record.
It should be
Well,
both.
Has anyone done it?
I think that
Okay.
she holds the record, the previous record, in 2018 when she did more than 16,000 feet at Singla Pass. I don't know where that is. But, yeah, I think that any of these, the highest altitude that anyone's ever broken a pencil. Like that, okay, that's
Ooh,
not a...
that's out there?
No, that's not a good world record. It needs to be more of a feat.
So you're saying she's just not going to have a lot of competition? Like,
Yes, there's no
we don't have that many
competition.
harp players to begin with, and if we do, they're not going to want to try to break that record.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, like if I set the world record of highest altitude, well, George, you probably have the record of the highest altitude of singing a bird dog song. But should that really be in the book?
I would wager about half of the records in the Guinness book are just like that, where there's no competition. They just set it and got it
Question.
certified.
Uncontested world record holding.
Like, remember that one? Well, and then maybe they've become slightly contested over the years, but that one we just had a couple months ago of the guy who set the record for the fastest time hanging 10 T-shirts. And that's in the Guinness book.
Man, I used to hang my T-shirts. I don't do that anymore. I need to get back to that. Did you guys panic pack?
No, I
No,
calmly
it's-
packed.
Yeah.
We're gone for what, 12 days?
10.
Oh.
10.
Okay, then I've got enough. I think. I'm going to have to do some re-wearing. I always go by the rule of half. I carry half as
Yes.
many clothes as I need, and then
you
figure
wash.
on a washing.
Yeah.
I do that too.
And we're in the same place, right, that still has that laundry
yeah.
service?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. I feel very confident about this.
Yeah, but you probably have 3 T-shirts and one pair of pants.
One pair of pants and then an overshirt. And then I have I guess I have the underwear I have on.
That's it?
You can flip it inside out, so that's 2 days use.
Yeah, I always just go to that grocery store and get that disposable underwear, the package of disposable underwear,
All right.
which is
Whatever
always
works.
nice. Yeah, because I can sit there during the show and not have to go to the restroom, get up and go to the restroom. I can just,
Treat it as a diaper.
go right there in the diaper.
Jeez.
That's what they're made for. So, and I always do the gag at training camp. I carry an oversized suitcase with very little in it because I can go to that grocery store that's nearby and load up on things that I need for my house.
And charge it to the company.
Yeah, charge it to the company because I'm traveling. This is total business.
Uh-huh.
And
Get
then-
some pots and pans.
Why did you just do Norm's voice?
Who?
You did.
I did.
Yeah.
What?
That's your
Implying-
second shot at poor Norm this morning.
I'm sorry, Norm.
Yeah,
He's
what's
probably
going on with
listening.
you and Norm?
Nothing. I love Norm. Sorry, Norm.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
That's the O deck.
Was that more Matchbox 20 that was just played?
Matchbox 182.
Jeez. You okay, George?
I'm fine.
What'd you eat for breakfast? Made you burp
Beer.
so loud.
Hot dog.
Beer and Sprite.
Beer and Sprite. You ever tried anything in your beer? Seemed like I used to know a guy that salted his beer.
Olives.
You put olives in beer?
Yeah, it's great.
How often do you do that?
Weekly.
Okay. All right. What's our first order of business as soon as we get out to California?
Get
today?
some olives.
Rental car.
Okay, I'm hearing two different priorities here. We got a decent rental car. Or are we going to be all cramped?
I got us a good one. Although I am bringing my bicycle, so whoever's in the back seat will be a little cramped.
Oh, jeez.
His two-wheeled mistress.
Why don't you ever get a minivan?
I think I looked into that this time, but they're quite expensive.
Oh, they are?
Rental cars are really expensive these days.
Boy, they are.
Minivan is the greatest design in the history of automobiles. And it's so stigmatized. It is unbelievable.
I don't want to hear this again from you.
Well, I've just experienced it so much in my life because I used to have a minivan, and then I don't anymore.
Back up a little further than that. You used to make fun of me for having a minivan and refused to even ride in it. We're going to take this to you too? Yes, Gordon. This is what we transport my kids in.
This is a made-up story by
It
George.
is not. And now I get lectured monthly by you about how great minivans are.
Why can't SUVs, which are really CUVs, non-truck-based SUVs, why can't they get the deep well in the back the way minivans have?
I don't know.
You can get so much stuff in them.
Because they're afraid that children will fall into them.
What?
If it's a deep well.
Baby Jessica.
No. And then also, why can't we put more sliding doors on things? Such a convenient way to get in and out of a place.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
Every single time somebody closes a sliding door, they have to re-close it. They never get it the first
No,
time.
they're all
get it.
automatic now. Anyway, let's talk about the fate of minivans. Are overrated?
Made by you. Yeah. I mean, they're nice, but it's not like the greatest vehicle we have, I don't think.
It's the greatest vehicle we have.
Okay.
Hot sports opinions.
If you had to have three cars, the perfect three-car battery, I think, is a minivan, a truck.
I don't think you could run 3 cars off of one battery.
Okay. A truck, and then like a little 2-seater type sports car with a stick shift. Would you at least let me talk?
I don't know about that
shift
second one. A 2-seater?
and rear wheel drive. That's the perfect 3-car battery.
Wrong, and wrong.
I hate talking to you guys. You don't consider any other view. Timothy Simpkins.
Oh, yeah.
This is the young man who was found guilty last week of attempted capital murder in the 2021 Timberview High School shooting. He shot what he said was his bully, and his bully lived, was shot, but he went on trial for attempted murder, and the jury sentenced him to 12 years in prison, and he will have to pay a $6,000 fine.
Does the news just show that footage every day?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is the biggest story locally, probably since the Kennedy assassination.
Mm,
I don't know about that, but it's really disturbing.
What would you say is the biggest local story we've had here?
since the Kennedy
Kennedy.
assassination?
Yeah.
Jerry Jones buys the Cowboys.
It's right up there.
No way.
When all those police
Dude.
officers got shot.
Yeah, I think it's
pretty
the-
big.
Yes, indeed.
The Aubrey Plaza, not Aubrey Plaza.
That was another police shooting. That was the Texas 7.
Yeah, but that was local too,
No,
right?
not Aubrey Plaza. That's the
His
actress.
name was Aubrey
Hawkins.
Hawkins, yes. Not Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah,
Jeez.
when we lost the 5 officers downtown.
Yes, that was another
Yes.
huge one.
What else? What are we missing? Big local news story. Delta plane crash.
Delta plane
Yeah.
crash was huge.
Yep. 1985.
How about the Candy Montgomery story? How about the Cullen Davis story?
We just started watching the Candy Montgomery Love and Death
Uh-huh.
on HBO. Sorry, Max.
Bill Backs.
Yeah, why do they have to rebrand?
What about Tom Ghilardi buying the stars?
Got to be right up there.
All right. No, I think it's Timothy Simpkins
No.
getting 12 years for attempted murder.
We're missing something. Darlie Routier?
That was
a
huge
bigger
one.
story.
Huh. All right, we'll do research on that. That'd be a good segment. The top 10 local stories since the Kennedy assassination in DFW.
Okay.
Now, how would you figure that out? I guess it would have to be number of news stories done about it and the duration in which the community talked about it. All right.
Danny White's first start.
That was
That's a
big. That's up
horrible,
there.
Horrible guess.
17-3 win over the Washington team in 1980.
Timothy Simpkins said, "What I did was very, very wrong, and I'm sorry.
Washington.
What I asked for is another chance."
What do you think about 12 years?
For attempted murder?
Yeah. Is that about right?
The age thing factors in here.
Yeah, it's on the
High
one
school
hand,
student.
it seems a little low to me, and on the other hand, I go, man, a 19-year-old, 12 years in prison, he's going to not learn a bunch of good lessons in prison.
Mm-hmm. Will he be eligible for parole in 7
I
or 8?
don't trust that he comes out of there just, really learned a lot
Rehabbed.
about meditation and about the importance of a calm environment. A guy died in a shooting incident that happened. It was road rage in Uptown, Dallas. The man who was shot in his truck died at a hospital on Sunday following this road rage incident that happened, I think it may have happened earlier that night. Yeah, and hours before the victim died, they arrested John Luster, a 47-year-old guy who was booked into Dallas County Jail. Luster initially he was booked in the jail facing a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. But then the charge was upgraded to murder when the guy died. They get into some conflict on the westbound access road to Woodall Rogers. And one of them flashes a gun, and then they get into it, and then the guy fired at him 5 times. This Luster guy, allegedly, fired at the victim, 37-year-old Saeed Lutfi. Fired at him 5 times, hit him once in the head, and the guy kept traveling on. After he gets headshot, the truck keeps traveling on and hits like a tree or something.
Don't confront anybody on the highway.
Can you imagine? You start your day. Do you think that, you know what? Today, I'm going to get in a battle for just some little section of road that I'll just be passing through. It won't even matter to me. And, minutes later. But I'm going to be so territorial about that particular section.
I'm going to end somebody.
I'm going to end someone's life. Yeah. It's kind of worth it to me to go ahead and stake a claim. I don't even know which part of the roadway it'll be today, but I just know it's going to be somewhere that I feel really strongly about.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Alabama woman by the name of Carly Russell. Does it sound familiar to you, Craig?
Yes.
Our suspicions were right.
Mm-hmm.
She admitted through a lawyer that she lied about her abduction and the report of the wandering child and the being taken into a 18-wheeler and then escaping that and then being abducted again and getting in a car and then having to climb a fence and then all that crazy tale that she told police officers. Now she says, oh, yeah, I was just making that up. Well, we have no idea why she was doing all this.
For attention?
Is that the kind of attention you want?
I mean, what other reasons are there?
Do you want to be known as abducted tree. What was she? She climbed a fence. Sorry, I can't think.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she told the dispatcher on 911. She called 911, told the dispatcher that she was going to pull over on the side of the road because there was a toddler walking on the side of the road. And she claimed she followed the toddler for 600 feet. Was it 600 yards or feet?
Yards.
Now I'm thinking yards, yeah. Which is ridiculous that a toddler would walk in a straight line for 600 yards. Then when she's on the phone, then she calls a family member, reports the same details, and then that family member heard Carly Russell scream on the phone, the line goes dead, and then 2 days later she shows up at her family's front door, and they called cops, and that's when she spun her tale of abduction. Now she says, nah, it's all made up.
Golly.
They should go after her for all of the expenses that they used in the investigation and search for her. That's all I have.
It's got a killer like at the end of search for her.
I just don't really have that strong of an opinion on this matter past what I just said.
I'm with you.
But you're paid to have strong opinions.
I know.
Yeah.
So they need to go after her.
So we need to play that
money.
clip of Junior and put it on his greatest hits of opinions.
Make that a promo.
Carly Russell. Well, I would like to offer her the forum.
Okay.
This is something that I am
Yeah,
doing.
that's what she needs to do.
All right. She needs to come on the ticket and explain herself.
Here's another good candidate from a P1 for biggest news story since the Kennedy assassination, the Botham Jean death.
Yes. Oh, that was a huge one.
Wow. That's the biggest story I can remember around here in the last 10 years.
Right. Because there was so much debate over that. The heat waves in Europe and the U.S., according to a new study, they say it's virtually impossible we would have had these without climate change. So I always like to mix in one fake news report with the real news.
There you go. Put some fake news in there.
Now, this heat is real.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I don't care if the world burns up. I just want to argue about what caused it while the world's burning.
Right.
Job applicants are battling AI resume filters with a very controversial technique. I didn't realize this, but I guess a lot of job applicants go to AI first, and AI will weed out, it's like a tool that managers use and companies use to hire people. Mm-hmm. They let AI do the first round of the talent competition.
I didn't know that went on.
Yeah. And so people are white fonting. You want to guess what white fonting is?
No, it sounds too dangerous to guess on.
What do you mean?
They're using font on their resume that is colored white so that it does not appear to AI. It disguises it.
It's the exact opposite.
Nailed it.
It's the exact opposite. What they're doing is they put a bunch of keywords in hidden fonts. It's white, so you can't see it. It blends in with the back, right, of the document, the electronic document. But AI sees all those keywords, and the keywords basically match up everything that the ad that that the company put out for this, the job posting. So AI preferences these resumes.
Interesting.
And the debate is whether this is a lack of integrity that you're doing this hack, basically, to get to the front of the line, or is it just being savvy with technology? It's showing initiative.
Yes.
And that's the kind of employee you want. One that will...
Gosh, we have to ask all these philosophical questions about everything now.
Hey, guys.
When it has to do with AI.
That's how Captain Kirk advanced through Starfleet Academy, by defeating the Kobayashi Maru test.
Oh, that was the hot dog eater.
He gamed the system.
Really? How many hot dogs did he eat in the system?
And they were so impressed that he was the only student ever to game the system that he became the greatest Starfleet captain of all time.
He was the only one that cheated, so they said that's admirable.
Right.
And they made him a rear admiral in the fleet. Doctors reattached a boy's head.
Good Lord. What happened?
In Israel. The boy was hit by a car while riding his bicycle over there. 12-year-old Palestinian child. And he got decapitated. So they put his head back on.
How? Riding a bicycle?
But they messed it up and they accidentally put it on backwards.
No. Stupid.
That part I'm not sure of. But, yeah, it's some kind of weird decapitation. I didn't know you could survive it either, but his skull detached from the top vertebrae of his spine.
Okay, here's the deal. It didn't come all the way off.
No.
You make it sound like he rode into some wire, completely severed his head. It was rolling around on the parking lot.
His head rolled down into a storm drain.
No.
And they found
you don't survive
that.
They
1.2 miles away in a feeder creek.
They can't reattach that. So it was partially severed.
It's known as a bilateral atlanto-occipital joint dislocation.
Okay.
What? They said his head was, quote, almost completely detached from the base of his neck.
Almost.
It was hanging by just a little string of skin. And they put it back on. And he's fine. He's winning Olympics left and right now.
All right, birthdays.
Okay, yeah. Let's end this.
Gosh. Such a rude thing to say to a guy during a segment.
We're not moving the ball. Let's punt it.
Let's go ahead and end this. Supermodel Imanis is 68. Who is that? I know supermodel Iman, but this says Imanis. Verdine White of Earth, Wind, and Fire, 72. He's greatness. Country singer Marty Brown, 58. Matt LeBlanc, Joey from Friends, is 56. He's the one who's grown on me the most since then. I disliked him the most on the show. But as a guy, an older guy, to me, he's the most lovable.
Was he the one who starred in one of the greatest sports movies ever? Ed? Yeah.
Yeah. What was the chimp? Throw a baseball or something?
Yeah, he played third.
Oh, I didn't know he played third, too. I just thought he was a pitcher or something like that. Pierce Gagnon from Boss Baby, Back in Business, is 18. And Mason Cook from TV's Speechless is 23. You're up to date.
No sports birthdays?
No sports birthdays.
birthdays ever.
What is not spare?
All right, that's Muse. But today is the big State of the Team address. Jerry Jones will host it live, carried here on the ticket at noon today. Noon today, be by the channel. And joining us now on the ticket hotline to talk about what he might say in the State of the Team address is Jerry Jones. Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. How are y'all doing this morning?
Good. Happy training camp.
Good. Stay positive. That's what we're all about.
A lot of positivity.
What's that now?
A lot of positivity going into camp.
Go get that over there. I'm sorry about that. I apologize. I'm distracted. We're sound checking right now.
Sound checking?
Yeah. Can you hold on just a second?
Sure.
All right. Spalding, let me have some drums.
What is going on?
He's going to have music?
Good.
I guess.
Yeah, give me that floor tom a little bit more. No, not the snare. Floor tom. Floor tom. Damn it, Spalding. There you go. No, not rag tom. Floor tom. Floor tom.
What do you... Is there a Jones family band
I think
we should know about?
No. It's just they're going to do a Spalding wants to do a little concert. He's got a garage band, and they've been working hard trying to learn some songs. They've been trying to learn that Matchbox 20 song Push from the Barbie movie.
Okay.
So Spalding's playing. The problem is he had a falling out with his band members right before the we had this press conference scheduled, and so it's just going to be Spalding on drums and a lead singer.
Okay.
So a little understaffed on that band.
All right. Look forward to hearing that.
Yeah, I am too. I am. Stephen, give me some Glockenspiel. The board should not be pulled up, Tyler. Good. All right. Sorry about that. Just a little misunderstanding there.
That's all right. Yeah, all of a sudden you sounded like you were right next door.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's a press conference line that's in there, I guess. Yeah.
Stephen, give me the Glockenspiel. That's how we're doing it.
Okay.
And what's that, Stephen? Oh, okay. Well, that DI may not be working. We'll get you. Okay. All right.
So you're gonna have a lot of music incorporated into the State of the Team address?
Yeah. We just kind of bust up the sports talk of it. Yeah. It's always big doings up there. We got Mike McCarthy up there. He's gonna be doing some freestyle rapping that he's written.
Wow.
And Stephen and Jerry also have been working on a play that they want to do based on the Scorsese film Step Brothers.
And this is all in the press conference
today.
All in
the press conference. That's right. Their portion of the press conference runs about 20 minutes on that Step Brothers thing, and they promise it's funny, but they say it's got a lot of fart jokes in it. So we're looking forward to that. And, of course, Charlotte Britches is doing a fashion show.
Okay.
She and some of her little friends went into Jean's closet and made up some outfits, so they're going to do a fashion show.
Wow, okay.
Man,
now, Jean, of course, will not be there.
Mm-hmm.
She has been away on the 350-foot illegitimate child yacht that I had to buy her.
And, call it that.
And, she's been spending an awful lot of time with Captain Randy. The Bravo Eugenia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. He's always driving the boat shirtless, too. I don't know what's happening.
Goodness.
But they're off the coast of the French Riviera right now. But we're gonna make some big announcements. Hold on just a second.
What are we checking?
Steven, put the harp over on stage right. Put the harp on stage right. Okay.
Boy, there's a lot of setup going on.
Yeah, we're announcing that we're hiring AI to replace Zach Martin at right guard.
AI, okay.
Moving in the future.
You have
Cutting
a robot?
edge.
And we just may start Cooper Rush at quarterback and move my star athlete Dakota Rain to right guard if AI don't work out for us.
Wow, that would be shocking.
Dak is a miracle.
That's a ridiculous idea.
I can't believe Zach is doing this to us. I mean, when you make a commitment to someone, you need to be faithful to it.
Yeah, but he's underpaid for who he is.
Of course, then again, I wouldn't be buying yachts if I'd followed that advice, would I? So, but I'm also looking forward to sitting down with the great Gordo about the fake Jonesy. That's going to be fun.
Oh yeah,
let's do that.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah, Joe Trahan just called me and set that up, so we're looking forward to that. And of course, I'm looking forward to that Nobu seafood, that big media party. I
Man,
Yes,
that is the best.
yes.
Can't wait.
You like that? I hope you do. I hope you do very much.
I love it.
And you know what'll be out there in front of that Nobu, don't you?
Huh.
That Cowboys Bang Brothers bus that we got rolling down the PC.
Don't call it that.
It's going to be good.
All right. Well, happy training camp. We'll see you today. Later today.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy training camp. Look forward to seeing you guys out here. Y'all come on out.
Okay. We'll see you, Jerry.
All right. Dan Quinn, give me some acoustic. Dan Quinn, give me acoustic.
All right. A lot of band members out there have their lighters up on that one.
Thanks, Craig. Tracy says, no one can convince me that Bo Jackson is right up there as the greatest athlete. I think he means isn't right up there as the greatest athlete. As Craig was talking about, greatest athlete needs to be an activity that so many people do. And when you get into the NBA or something like that, it's like not enough people play that sport in order for you to say the greatest NBA player is the greatest athlete of all time. So that's why you need to go with – that wasn't your argument, but you were talking about that argument. And that soccer should be – the greatest soccer player would be the greatest athlete.
Or in that guy's
Or
opinion,
running.
runner, yeah, because everybody runs.
But Bo Jackson, that's a good one. Anybody who excels at a couple sports has to be considered. And he also says Michael Phelps should be up there somewhere, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then P1JR says, have you guys tried tomato juice in your beer?
Yeah, it's a red draw.
That's what it's called? Red draw?
Remember in Wichita Falls, that's what we had.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was okay.
I don't remember trying that. Maybe I wasn't
there was
drinking.
there was that place that was a drive-in that you would go and have that.
Ugh.
Go in, have some barbecue, and have a
red
I'm
draw.
saying that right? Red draw?
Red
I think
draw?
so, yeah.
I think that Bloody Marys are creepy. When you get on a plane, someone orders a Bloody Mary, and I'm going, ugh. It just looks so gross. Tomato juice with, what's in it, vodka? And a celery stick. You like that? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. P1 Randy says olives in beer is damn good.
Yep.
So it gives you thumbs up on that, George.
Especially jalapeno stuffed olives in a beer.
Jub needs to try the stuffed garlic jalapeno olives. That's what he says.
Funny.
The very next
I've tried
sentence.
both, yeah.
And then he says, as far as the minivan, they're awesome. And it's basically a covered pickup bed. Press a button and both sides of the magical ride opens up. With your hands full, there's nothing better than a minivan. Hear, hear, P1 Randy. You're so right. Seth gives me support for my 3-car battery. Which does not mean 1-car battery that 3 cars run off of. I'm talking about having 3 cars in your stable, which would be the perfect combination. And I said a pickup truck, a minivan, and a 2-wheeled rear-wheel drive sports car with a stick shift, like a little 2-seater, something. What would you have on your 3-car lineup?
I was just putting this down. Definitely a pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
Trans Am.
Okay, so a sports car there.
And a Prevost bus.
Huh. So your people mover's going a little bit bigger than the minivan.
I drove bus.
Yeah.
You ever going to live that dream and actually do it?
Maybe.
Yeah. Let's see. Boy, Seth sent me pictures of his car. He even ceramic coated his minivan. He says it feels like glass now. It's nice finish on it and everything.
I'd go sports car, fast sports car, mid-size SUV for my everyday use, and then some kind of really heavy-duty 4-wheel drive vehicle. So I can go off-road.
To go off-road?
Yeah.
Like a Jeep? Or
Something
a Bronco,
like that. Yeah.
off-road?
Something really tough.
Craig Fisher says that white fonting has been going on for years, like over 20 years. This is the thing where you put in hidden text so that the computers will select your resume off the top of the pile because it thinks that you match their criteria really well because you're putting in hidden search terms in there. He said it's considered an automatic disqualifier by recruiters. I didn't know that. We had the news story about people doing that. Daniel says NFL teams cut players all the time with years and money left on the contracts for little or no compensation to the players. I'm 100% behind the players holding out. Yeah, if that's the case, which I didn't know. I don't know anything about sports nor sports contracts. If a contract is only one way and they can get out of it at any time they want to, the team, then how is that a contract?
NFL contracts aren't guaranteed. That's why they get
they
big
need
signing bonuses, which obviously
That's
are
we're talking
guaranteed.
about that money up front.
Yeah, why don't they make them guaranteed? Why can't the players union get that done?
Because
Too many players.
They've had the worst deal over the years.
It's
of
the
any
weakest
of the big
player
sports.
union, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They give in so easily, and they've only just in the last 5 years started to gain back a lot of ground with the guaranteed money. But baseball had this figured out a long time ago, and then basketball had it figured out a long time ago, and the players in football have just been so late to the party.
But you got 53 guys on a roster.
Yeah.
It's harder, yeah.
But they could afford it.
But just like I said when we found out Zach Martin was going to be holding out How'd the players let that one go through? No longer will your fines be wiped off.
Right.
You're going to have to somehow pay for them. There's no exceptions to that now.
So in other words, if the team makes up for it, you're going to be taxed on all that money that you're going to be taxed as income.
Yeah, I guess that may equal out in a wash, but no one knows how this is going to go yet. The teams may look at it and say, well, we had a contract, so we're not going to do some sort of $2 million tack on if you miss all of training camp.
And I guess what happened was players were asking for guaranteed contracts and they couldn't get it, and the most part they could get was like a big signing bonus.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is up front, and you don't have to give back any signing bonus, right?
No.
Because you signed.
Yep.
You get paid for signing. Steve, giving us... I want to do that next. Okay, I want to do top 10 local news stories. We had so many people with great candidates. We were wondering, what is the biggest DFW news story since the JFK assassination, which certainly was a very big one.
A lot of feedback on this.
Yeah, and we're trying to compile our list. Nick says Wintergeddon and the collapse of the Texas power grid in February 2021 was a huge story that lasted a while. Rita says DFW biggest news story candidate, Amber Hagerman. That's a good one, too, because that resulted in the Amber Alert, which then went nationwide and is something that we rely on all the time now. Nathan says biggest news story since JFK. He has a few. 7716, we mentioned that one.
Mm-hmm.
Candy Montgomery, we mentioned that one. Clock Boy.
Forgot about him.
And he mentions the primetime live expose that took down Robert Tilton and two other local evangelists. W.V.
big.
Grant and that. P1.5 Mark says big story list item, Walker, Texas Rayleigh.
Yes. Man, that was a big story.
Walker Rayleigh was a huge local story that
on my mobile phone.
Circa early 80s?
Mid 80s, wasn't it?
Mid 80s?
Mid to late 80s. I'm calling you on my mobile phone. I have been at Fondren Library, and I don't have a watch with me right now, so I do not know the time.
You can recite the
but
entire
I
thing.
definitely know the time is at an alibi-like place on my watch.
That might have been the biggest.
You think?
Boy, it was
bigger
huge.
than the trial.
I think I have another one.
Okay.
If I say the term "don't touch your friends," what do you think of?
Ebola.
That was a huge local story that had national and worldwide coverage.
Yes.
Nina Pham and her dog Bentley got Ebola from Eric Thomas Church. I don't know. And the first case of Ebola here stateside.
That was scary.
That was a big deal. And then Adam and several other people voted for this one. Biggest story in Dallas-Fort Worth history, that one building that they couldn't bring down with a wrecking ball, the Leaning Tower of Dallas.
I love that story.
It's the stupidest story. Why everyone was so obsessed with it. The building that refused to fall. All right, some ideas for our SoCal trips from the P1s. Steven says, tour the homes where Night Stalker and Golden State Killer offended.
No.
Also the Hillside Strangler and the Black
That's
Dahlia
a Gordo
sites.
solo trip.
Come on.
No.
I could give you guys a tour of those places and
I don't
tell you
want
all
one.
the details. I don't know that much about those cases.
Quit glorifying murderers, which is what you've done now for 20
Mark
years.
can play for Peter King.
Quit glorifying who?
A word we're going to put on the list.
Say it.
You say it.
Murderers. Or we could head on down to the Ann Heche house, which I suggested.
No.
1766 Walgrove Avenue. Oh my God!
Oh,
Oh, no!
you know it.
Nick says, rather than go south or to the desert, which is 115 plus degrees, why not head to the Monterey Big Sur area? I've never seen it.
I'm always up for that.
That's the same distance as Vegas, 5-hour drives.
Wouldn't you rather go
I think we
there
can
than
make it
Vegas?
It's a
whole lot less gambling.
We've made that drive before, so we know it, but it's a much prettier drive.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
How about Norman's Rare Guitars in Tarzana? You ever seen Norman's Rare Guitars? He gets all those historic instruments through there.
I guess not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pick yourself up a really expensive guitar that was once owned by, I don't know, John Lennon. Somebody like that. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
How about this? Kimberly says y'all could go to Bakersfield and see my aunt and uncle's old house.
Okay.
Just old house.
I love
Located
it.
out there somewhere in Bakersfield, California.
Don't even live there anymore. We can go to Bakersfield and hear the sound. That Bakersfield sound. Jerd says, how about the TMZ bus tour again?
Okay, that's funny.
Okay.
Yay! Too soon.
Yeah, it's too soon. We were burned on that then, but it was a very nostalgic burning that we went through there. And then finally, you remember when Adidas was basically going to go bankrupt and go belly up because of those Yeezy shoes when Kanye West or Ye or Yee? How do you say it?
That was yay.
When he said his stuff and then they had to cancel his shoe contracts. Well, now they got so many orders for 4 million pairs of the unsold Yeezy shoes. So it's yay, but I'm supposed to say Yeezy. It should be Yeezy, right?
Yeah.
That they are, that it basically saved the company. I guess they're going to sell the shoes because people still wanted them.
Okay.
So much for high-roading and canceling the contract.
They seem to have a decent share of the sports market, don't they? Like I know in the golf world they do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that are...
That Adidas was the big company and then Nike was the upstart, or was it the other way around?
Yes. Adidas was expected to land Jordan, and Nike got him and made their company.
Where does K-Swiss figure into all this?
Long gone.
They're not around anymore? Remember when that was a big deal, when you had to have K-Swiss shoes? That was huge.
Is Messi still Adidas? Fernando, you'd probably know that.
I believe he is.
Okay,
I'm trying to make jelly shoes happen again.
What's that?
Y'all remember jelly shoes? There's a few female P1s with their lighters up right now.
Jelly shoes. Maybe I remember.
Jelly shoes? Another stupid looking shoe.
Are they clear shoes?
They're clear and they look like almost like connected splatter paint. They're it's hard to describe.
I think our daughter has a pair of those.
Of jelly shoes?
Yeah.
I don't think they make them anymore.
My wife calls them her jellies.
Oh. Well, maybe they do make them still. I don't know. Would you try to focus?
Soup's jelly.
Damian Lillard, James Harden, Adidas guys in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're definitely still a player.
Well, what are we? What are we, Adidas or Nikes?
I'm Under Armour.
Nike guy.
I support
he's
Jordan
Under
Spieth.
Armour for speed.
Gosh.
What? Trying to help him out.
You're the biggest sheep I've ever known in my life.
I don't care.
Oh, okay. Well, wasn't quite as spirited of a debate as I thought.
No, I don't want to debate.
All right, that's the corner.
Get the Steak Podcast at patreon.com/sportsgreek.
Baldy's our shadow GM.
I can make fun of Baldwin because we're both North Texas bros.
Absolutely. Go Mean Green.
Talons up.
I did see UNT did
yeah,
something
here's
recently.
Ty.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
Here's Ty.
What?
Comedy hour.
All right, kind of the news du jour is on a sad note. Bronny James suffered
this is
cardiac arrest at a practice yesterday morning.
very scary.
So for those that don't know, Bronny, of course, the son of LeBron James, committed to play basketball at USC. And at practice yesterday morning, 18 years old, suffered from cardiac arrest. That's scary. It's a reminder that It can kind of happen to anyone at any age.
A kid that's you would think is in the best health in ever, and something like this hits him.
Probably in better shape than you and I.
Probably.
Maybe not Sean.
Yeah, I've lost weight. I'm good.
But just, there's all this idea that he's going to go to college for a year, and then he's going to go to the NBA, play with his dad. And
well, there was reports yesterday that his stock is now like in round 2 somewhere. He's not this top player that everybody thought. Then, of course, this news happens today, which...
Ham asked me if his stock is going to fall because of this.
I mean, to localize it, we all remember in 2013 with Rich Peverly on the bench of the Dallas Stars, and that was one of the most eerie moments I've ever had watching professional sporting event.
I was in the arena. I was covering
night?
that game, and it was
so weird.
So surreal, having all those players screaming on the bench, and you thought they were mad because there was a penalty that wasn't called, and then all of a sudden you see them, lifting Rich Peverly up and running him back to the locker room.
Correction, that was 2014. He actually had a surgical procedure with an irregular heartbeat in 2013, but still. So, obviously, that can happen, which maybe there's some sort of, defect inside the cardiovascular system of Bronny that, who knows? Rich Peverly never continued to play.
No, he never came back. They put him in some type of front office role, I think, for a while.
Right.
I'm old enough to remember. I was in college when Hank Gathers. Do you remember the name Hank Gathers when he collapsed on the court? Yeah, and died. And he was going to be. People thought he was going to be tremendous in the NBA because he was such a high scorer at Loyola, and died in their postseason tournament. And that was scary.
Well, of course, DeMar Hamlin, and he weighed in on Twitter today. Prayers to Bronny and the James family. Prayer hands here for you guys, just like you've been for me the entire process.
Is that the fake one?
The AI one.
The hologram DeMar?
It's a clone.
Yeah. No, but we talk about rehabbing from injury. Boy, imagine rehabbing from this.
I know DeMar's supposed to play this year, right? And go through camp. That's the plan.
I'm just saying, you hurt your knee, then you put more weight on the other one.
Yeah, knee is one thing, heart's another.
How do you even?
I guess if there's some way they can get him back on the court through medication or some type of procedure.
Well, and USC had a center last year, Vincent Iwuchukwu. I can't pronounce that properly.
Nailed it.
He was a freshman, one of the top incoming freshmen last year. Suffered a cardiac arrest July 1st of 22. Hospitalized for a couple days. Came back and played for USC last January.
Okay.
So
cool.
He appeared in 14 games, so maybe this isn't the end of Bronny's career, but, buddy.
But it's a USC thing?
Yes, something at USC. And something in the water.
And not to get too personal, but, the first few days of my daughter's life, my little one, when she was born via C-section, and apparently when you go through the birth canal, that's supposed to close a valve in your heart, so she had a heart murmur for the first few days, and she spent her first couple days in the NICU, which was one of the most stressful times in life, but she's fine now. But I've always thought, okay, look, my wife's a music teacher, she's going to be a band kid, she's going to be a theater kid. She's probably not going to do a lot of she's not going to be a cross-country marathoner. Yeah. So, but in the back of my mind, I always kind of worry, will that pop up again one day? I just don't know, man.
You're making it hard for me to transition to...
Sorry. Maybe we can play a...
I lost the
Now
interstitial.
on the lighter side of news, here's Blake.
UPS struck a deal. They're not going to strike.
Labor talks, yay!
This is fun. Why I brought this up is, I feel like we could do without Hollywood writers for a little bit, or
I'm so sick of hearing that story.
Let's catch up, right? I've got so much stuff in my DVR.
That's what I'm thinking. I got enough stuff to carry me through for a while.
I'm behind on vampires.
Yes,
and all
but if
sorts
you're
of
telling
shows.
me my Prime Day deal is not going to get here in time, that's going to piss me off.
Yeah, that's different.
But luckily, UPS has reached a tentative contract agreement.
Okay.
And they're going to get paid a little bit more, $275 more per hour, sweet, and $750 more per hour over the length of this 5-year contract. So, good for them. They're, in my eyes, essential workers.
Sure.
Doing the Lord's work.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I need my toothbrush.
They can afford it.
Yeah, they're rolling in
They
it.
can afford it.
I agree.
Either of you guys ever wanted to be a delivery driver? Wear the shorts, get to drive with the open door?
I think the open door is pretty kick-ass. I'm not going to lie to you. I've always wondered about the actual, like, dependability of those vans. Like, it feels like, because they're tooling all over town, a lot of idling, probably really tough on the engine. I'm guessing they have their own, like, service bay.
Whoa.
Like their own engineers that keep those on
Shut
the road.
up, Ham.
Whoa.
Shut up, Ham.
If I was going to be one, I would be Amazon because they drive the normal van. They don't drive the wacky UPS van.
They get more AC going in there.
They better.
This time of year,
if I'm
it's
going to
gotta
work for them.
suck to be a UPS driver. It's 105 out.
I've always liked the idea, though. You're always out on the road and
Meet
Sweet
new
shorts.
people. Yeah.
cool shorts.
Sweet
and
outfit.
Get your steps in.
You get to be like Doug Heffernan.
So much strange.
Okay, that's what this comes back to.
You're finally seeing the play develop.
Yeah, it's the only reason we're doing this.
Lived in a great house.
King of Queens.
All
With
comes
a
into
hot
focus.
wife.
Yes.
Yet he was a delivery truck driver. I've always thought, like, working for a soda company, like making deliveries in one of those, like big old trucks.
Big old Coke truck?
Yeah. Or Dr. Pepper.
Everybody
that'd be-
takes care of the beer man.
Right?
That wouldn't be bad.
That'd be pretty good. Also, working, like, overnight at a store, stocking shelves. I know that's probably a beaten job that doesn't pay much, but I've always been fascinated with, I don't know, picking up a few shifts and seeing what that's like.
That's going to be my retirement job.
Overnight stock dude?
Yes. I don't know.
It's good, honest work.
Yeah.
You're helping people.
You get to kind of work on your own. You got
Sure.
a job to do, and I don't know. I like the organizational aspect of it.
And listen to the satellite radio inside the grocery store with today and yesterday's hits.
After my freshman year of college, I worked at a warehouse, and don't mark this down, Matt, where I stocked 18-wheelers that went to grocery stores.
That's tough
and that
work.
was horrible.
That's tough work.
Because that was a 10-hour shift, and we had no air conditioning in the warehouse. I lost 40 pounds in about 3 months.
Wow.
And it was, my mom thought I had AIDS.
That's very specific.
I swear to God.
We won't hear that again.
Yeah, don't mark that either. I mean, every
First
time.
off, what are you doing to get AIDS that your mom is suspicious of?
Because she just saw me. She just saw me like me
Ty's
getting
a little funny.
She saw me getting really, really skinny.
Walker told me I had AIDS.
Mama Walker told me I had
She just saw me getting really, really skinny. So every time I saw her, she was putting a plate of food in front of me because she thought I was losing too much weight.
And she was telling you about this pretty girl at church.
Yeah. Hey, come over here and look at this Playboy.
You need more church.
Yeah, you do need more church.
You're
in your
unchurched.
lifetime. Golly.
Ty's been acting a little funny.
Little
Yeah,
peculiar.
that's loading trucks is hard work. Is that my interstitial? Okay, I'm moving on.
Baldy told me.
Thanks, Baldwell.
Yeah, Baldwell.
Why did he call you that?
I don't know. They didn't really
Term
know
of
my last
endearment?
name, my real last
Didn't
name.
really know it.
Oh.
All right, final study. Final story here in the news. Road rage is actually down in 2023, which is surprising.
Yeah, that's
given what we've seen on
surprising.
Dallas, Texas TV. Remember a month ago he had a guy holding another guy at gunpoint over an accident?
There's been some dudes that have gotten out of cars at like stoplights and fought. I've seen a number
common.
of those, yeah.
That's common. I know Ty's done that.
I have never done that. I used to like get really mad sometimes when I was in my car and I drive by and flip the bird. I ain't doing that anymore.
I talked about this with Donovan last week. I've stopped doing that.
No.
Just seeing new, and maybe the news is affecting me, but seeing people, brandishing a gun and firing, I think I'm done.
One time, I was coming home from Diamond Talk, and don't mark this. And this guy, I was close to my house, and I was trying to get past him, and he kept speeding up. He wouldn't let me pass him, and I finally had to like hit the gas, and I flew by him, and I flipped the bird at him, and he started following me, and I was like, "Oh, this is not good."
He's gonna follow you into your driveway.
Yes. So I didn't stop at my house. I drove around. Till he finally got tired and drove off.
Just getting a line at Whataburger.
Oh, ooh, that would have been good.
Your mom's worried about your AIDS.
My mom told me I need to eat food. She don't want me to be peculiar.
And you're already mad because the Rangers have been swept by the Royals.
Exactly.
And you're just so
I was
upset.
so mad, and then this a-hole won't let me pass him. Come on, man.
Mike Adams came in the 8th and blew it.
Mike Adams.
That was pre-tie.
Hello,
Diamond Talk.
2011 called. He wants Mike Adams back.
I thought he was a decent setup, man.
Yeah, he was
great. I'll take him this year.
As of May 3rd, we are down 26% on total offenses related to road rage.
Okay.
Now, that's kind of skewed because 2022 was an all-time high for this. So much so that Texas formed an agency called the North Texas Road Rage Task Force.
NARTS.
Now what are they doing? Are they just driving around being nice to people?
I'm going to ask a dumb guy question.
You're in the right place.
Welcome.
So is all the drag racing and like the incidents and fallout from some of those things, does that count as road rage? Because I know the drag racing has been an issue in this burg. Like, does that all get lumped in to road rage? Because I know in 2022 there was a lot of drag racing problems, especially like in East Dallas and whatnot.
That's just street racing, right? That just stays in its own little,
I guess,
niche.
I mean, they're doing it in like public thoroughfares, so it's.
I think
they're on the road.
They did say in this article that they think that the pandemic had something to do with it. Now that everyone is out and driving, people forgot how bad we suck at driving.
A lot of pent-up anger.
And a lot of mad people. And they also contribute to summer months where people are hot and maybe some cars don't have AC. Is 40% of all road rage incidents take place during the summer.
More crime in general happens
which makes
during
sense.
the
I
summer
can see
months.
that for sure.
Yeah. But be careful out there. Let's be nice to one another.
Yeah, let's celebrate life through sports.
Let me pass.
Let's go. All right, it's 1:48. Thank you, Blake, for the news.
Once again, The Ticket presents Why Today Doesn't Suck.
All of it sucks, is what I'm saying. All of it. It sucks.
It may.
That's a new open. And now,
my mom thought I had AIDS. God, I hate you.
I love you, Ham. All right, it's 2:54. This is The Ticket. You just heard it is Why Today Doesn't Suck, but we're underrepresented
what's the deal?
at the moment because we got Bob mid-PBJ.
Bob.
And there's
That looks
no
like
Snake.
I thought that was a roast beef sandwich he was eating over there.
And Dave Lane is rolling in right now.
I know what I mean. Let me just say, the Cumulus Cafe doesn't have a ton going for it. Let's just be honest.
But
when the new delivery gets here, and there's a PB&J.
What was PB&J?
That
until a homeless person breaks in.
That between the PB&J, they drop a nice layer of granola. I mean,
game changer.
I kind of try to buy them out. This is the deal. Like, if you have a secret way into like a Cowboy game, you probably shouldn't brag about it because, and this is going to lessen my ability to dive into the PB&J market here because they only bring like 2 because fourth graders don't work here.
Yep.
But man, I look almost every day to see if the new delivery showed up, and today's my lucky day.
And look who's here. Snakey.
Let's rip and read, man. Let's rip and read.
Corby.
Boy.
Snake.
I was about to have to pinch hit again, but he's here.
Just do this. Today is Tuesday, July 25th, the 206th day of 2023. There are 159 days left in the year of our Lord Dan. On this date, in 1956, the Italian liner SS Andrea Doria, George, collided with the Swedish passenger ship Stockholm off the New England coast late at night, and it began sinking. 51 people, 46 from the Andrea Doria, 5 from the Stockholm, were killed. The Andrea Doria capsized and sank the following morning. Now, what was
get the term Stockholm Syndrome?
What was the Seinfeld plot of the Andrea Doria?
Correct.
George
He was
somehow
using that-
weaseled
he was
to get a
angling
new
for an apartment?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he
was-
said that he was a baby
on the Andrea Doria.
And yes. And that he thought that he could gain sympathy because of that.
Let's see, I'm looking at the summary.
Oh, and they wrote a song about it.
He lost an apartment because somebody was connected to the Andrea Doria.
Yeah, episode 144 of Seinfeld. This is season 8, episode 10. And yes, he did not get the apartment because the other was a survivor of the Andrea Doria.
That's right.
That was the thing that tipped the scales in the other person's direction. The sympathy vote.
Yeah, the survivor's name was Clarence, so George was sympathetic at first, but after Kramer informs him of the details of the Andrea Doria, the ship took 10 hours to sink and only 51 people died. He feels Clarence's case was weak. So at Jerry's suggestion, George requests a hearing with the association and tells them various misfortunes about his life that left the committee in tears. But when George confronts Alan over this, Alan called him chinless.
Chinless.
George rubbed his chin and looked perturbed. I don't know how it worked out.
Genius. In 1972, the notorious
B.I.G.
Tuskegee syphilis experiment came to light. As the Associated Press reported that for the previous 4 decades, the U.S. Public Health Service, in conjunction with the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama, had been allowing poor, rural black male patients with syphilis to go without treatment, even allowing them to die as a way of studying the disease.
My mom thought I had AIDS.
Rural gentleman.
Yeah.
So they were giving him placebo medicine? Like, here, this will cure your syphilis, and it was like saline solution.
Pretty much.
Sugar water.
We did a segment on this.
My balls are as big as a watermelon.
During COVID, because a lot of our African-American brothers were still incredibly leery of anything that the government said because of the Tuskegee.
I don't know why.
They don't want to turn out like Bronny.
Would feel that way.
Just don't start it with me today.
Dave.
Just don't.
Dave.
I had a nice 1-day vacation.
Dude's still in the
hospital on my first day back.
He's out of ICU. Come on.
He's fine.
Fair game.
In 1978, Louise Joy Brown, the first test tube baby, was born in Oldham, England. She had been conceived through the technique of in vitro fertilization.
Or IVF.
Hey, guys.
Hi, in vitro.
Do we know what
IV.
that cost? Or did the government say, we'll pay for this, or the doctor's office, or
the first test tube baby?
Yeah. What did that cost the parents?
Maybe just like a
free? I bet it was free.
$25 copay.
Yeah.
What does a turkey baster cost?
There's
dude.
Go, Dave.
We've heard from Jake that it costs
$20 to $30,000, right? Somewhere in that neighborhood.
You can
That's
keep
per
doing
cycle.
it. Yes.
Yeah. That's not until it takes. That's each time you try.
Yeah. In 1990, a comedian, Roseanne Barr, sparked controversy with an off-key rendition of The Star-Spangled Banner.
Padres name?
She grabbed her crotch
Padres.
and spat on the ground at
To
the
a
end.
booing audience during a doubleheader at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego.
That was more like Francis Scott off-key.
Hey!
Hey-oh!
There he is.
So was she canceled back then, or could you not be canceled because it was before cancel culture?
It was before cancel culture.
She was scolded.
Libs. I think she went on like a talk show like Larry King or something and gave her side, and that was about it.
Now, she found out later on in life that you can get canceled if you wear a Hitler outfit
and talk about how Hitler wasn't that bad of a deal.
Yeah.
Mark.
Haven't I been marked enough today?
No.
Libs.
Oh, boy, here we go.
You are libs.
In 1999, on this date,
We partied like it was...
Nolan was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Right. Hell.
That's right.
JD's not in there
Where's
still.
JD?
Wasn't the station up there?
I believe that was actually Robin Yount was inducted.
Yount?
Oh.
And Nolan Ryan went with him. Did you make that up on your own there, Dave?
That was stunning.
Dave.
P1
I'm not going
birthdays.
to take it from you either.
We need to wish a quick recovery for strong, lifelong
Just
P1
remember
Jason
what happened to the
Killo.
last guy.
Killo?
Tried that.
That's right.
How would you
Killer
pronounce
here.
that last name?
Killo?
Killo? Okay. Like pillow. Oh, that says pronounced Kylo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Kylo. I'm interested now.
Jason Kylo. He had a medical procedure today, Vague. He's a North Texas grad. His leader is the big man. Drop request, do you believe in the mean green? Thanks, Jason P1.
Do you believe in the mean green?
Bam, 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 bam.
That was that big victory over McNeese State.
That was see you later, McNeese State, right?
Watch
That
out
was
for
the
San
victory.
Diego
Was that the
State.
same game?
don't know.
What game was Do You Believe in the Mean Green from?
Do you believe in the
That had to have been bigger than McNeese State.
Maybe Tech.
What's bigger than
Texas
McNeese
Stadium.
State, Corby?
I don't know. Let me look in the big book of ticket history.
Okay, I'm thinking this was like a
Bend
win.
your knees, please.
This was a win over a Power 5 conference
It was
school.
probably Texas
All right.
Tech at Texas
Yes,
Stadium.
this is on the road over Texas Tech. They led the Raiders 30-27 in the dying minutes as a final desperation heave into the end zone was batted down. Play-by-play voice George Dunham exclaimed, "Do you believe in the Mean Green?"
Okay, all right, so that's better than McNeese State.
Yes, right. This is from Amy. I would like to wish my P1 husband, Matt Rayford, a very happy birthday. He better not have gotten woken up in that special way because I am out of town on a work trip.
Oh, dear.
Well, guarantee he wouldn't have if you were in town.
Right. He would love to hear the classic vaginal slice born drop. That is from his wife, Amy.
That's the weirdest birthday gift ever given by a wife.
Or the best. Or the
Probably.
Big boy birthdays today. Alvin Kamara is 28 years old.
Vaginal slice born.
The Hardline's own Bryce Young is 21.
Look at that.
Who demanded to be on our show.
Squared away young man, Bryce Young.
We bought in early. Now we watch the Carolina Panthers rise to the top.
The Carolina Panther.
Carolina Panthers, sharp teeth and claws.
With
Every now and then, that guy just pops up on Twitter on my feed.
Yeah.
Like
You'll just see a retweet of his own, promoting his lyrics.
Former guest at Ticket Stock.
Hey, is Adam?
He was just there at Ticket Stock drinking beer.
Is Adam Thielen one of
Soils
his
alive?
Yes.
main targets this year?
Adam Thielen, Panther.
Weird.
How about that?
Wang. Adam feeling Wang.
He's
Doug
serving
Drabeck
a 14-year
is 61.
prison
Did
sentence
Doug
for
Drabeck
rape
have
and
the
assault.
yips? Was something wrong with him?
Doug Drabeck?
I don't think so.
He had cancer in his arm, didn't he?
Pyro?
No, it was
No.
Dave Drabecky.
On acid.
He came up with the
No.
Coca-Cola theme.
He had 6 fingers. No.
Did he have 6 fingers?
I don't think he had the.
No, that was Mike
Ed
Venefro.
Sprague is 56.
That was not Mike Venefro.
Ed Sprague.
Got it, Mino.
Brewer?
Blue Jay.
Blue Jay.
And he married a synchronized swimmer. And a Canadian Olympian.
Mark that, please.
Yeah.
She must be fun in bed.
Look it up.
Kristen Babb,
He did look it up.
an Olympic gold medalist in synchronized swimming. They
What's
had
up?
4 kids.
Wait till Immaculate Grid asks that one.
The former U.S. boy, I had no idea this guy was alive because whenever he left, he's done a good job of staying out of the limelight.
Whitey Herzog.
You're not too far away. Former USC coach John Robinson is 88.
Still alive,
Did you guys know Whitey Herzog was alive?
No.
I saw him at the
Me
Hall of
neither.
Fame.
I know. I saw him this
A
weekend.
big
I'm
old hearing aid.
like,
and-
wow. I
Does he
thought,
have a big horn?
he's
Close enough.
He's not as spry as he once was. He's not playing the tips. Let's just say that.
Okay.
His swing speed is really slowed down.
He was
Former
only
Dallas star
41 when he
goalie
coached.
Richard Bachman is 36.
Whitey Herzog was 41 as the manager of the Rangers.
Wild.
Former Texas Ranger Kevin Kuzmanov is 42. I believe his nickname was
Kuz.
Dripping Kuz. Look it up. It's on the internet.
Just dripping and oozing down the sides.
Oh, wow. How about this?
Mark.
So today is the day that Louise Joy Brown was born as the first test tube baby.
Right. And then she died.
She's still alive.
Well, me.
Who saw that coming?
We go live to Norm for reaction.
Well, actually, it was a test tube baby, so no one saw it coming.
Ty, look her up. See if she's hot.
Hey. Oh, okay. Let me see.
Can you be hot if you're born out of a test tube?
Sure.
Thank you.
I mean, you probably have a perfectly shaped head.
Yeah. Louise Joy
They're
Brown.
all symmetrical.
Let's see here.
Not a ringing endorsement, Ty.
She's looks like a lovely young lady.
She has a great personality.
She's got a couple of kids, it appears.
Would you?
Looks like she's having a wonderful life.
Good for her.
It's like she likes to eat.
So she's pretty.
I see. He said that. I didn't.
Is she a great
She's got
big
kind
old
of a
plant person?
5 head.
Loves food.
Rock musician Verdine White. He of Earth, Wind, and or Fire is 72.
Elf.
Is that rock?
Right there.
Hey, man.
No, that's
It's soul.
soul, rhythm and
Funk.
blues, funk. Yeah. Model / actor Iman is 68. Was she in a Bond movie?
No.
Yeah, I believe so.
View to a
Was she?
Kill?
No, that was
Grace Jones.
Grace Jones. Yeah.
Oh,
She was married to
yeah,
David
could be-
Bowie, wasn't she?
Yeah, yes.
okay. My bad. Well, can you see how you can get those two mixed up though?
Because of the color of their skin?
No, Dave.
Well, no, they're both kind of challenging the gender
They had short hair.
boundaries.
Iman didn't have short hair, did she?
Black
Yes,
girl, right?
she did.
I'm just trying to get out of this alive.
No. Go with the gender boundaries, Corby. Go with the gender boundaries.
Ooh, rock musician Thurston Moore of Sonic Youth is 65.
Corby.
Never got it.
I didn't need it. Oh,
Nice.
actor
The
Ileana
Sonic
Douglas
senior
is
citizen.
58. Okay, I remember her most from Cape Fear because she went on a date with Robert De Niro's character
Oh,
and
yeah.
he beat her to near death.
Oh, happy birthday.
It was in a movie. Didn't
that's
really happen.
He was scary in that movie. He was really scary in that movie.
This is for my son. Actor Matt LeBlanc is 56.
Oh, star of Ed.
That's right.
Minor league, major friendship.
That's right. I tried to get, when you guys called me at the airport
also-
yesterday and I was with Van, I tried to get him to say, hey, here's Corby. I tried to be like, hey, I'm here with Van. You want to say hey? To him just be like, no, bitch.
You wouldn't do it? Oh, man.
I think that you really need to not bring such offensive content
I
from your
agree.
family to the air.
So I sent these guys
And that was when
a
he was in
text
kindergarten.
over the weekend,
Right.
and I'm not even
Like
joking. This was an
Show
email.
and tell.
The email reads, if I can find it.
The ticket.
Here it is.
Dear Playboy.
Dear snake.
I never thought I'd be writing a letter like this.
Oh, damn it. There it was. And I just... Mino, help me out here. Where is it?
It's in the Slack channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mino, will you come in here and go through his phone?
Mino, make my phone work easier.
Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, here it is.
Keep going.
Okay, got it?
Tell us. Hello, Jeff and Corby. I am writing because I was offended to hear a recording of Corby's son saying the F word on the radio moments ago.
We're all offended.
I ask you to please keep your content more family friendly.
Best, Sarah.
Amen. Amen to that.
Sorry about Corby, Sarah.
That Jeff Staubach or Jeff? Are we?
Oh, wow. Hey.
It was Catlin. She decided to tag the program director because, I recorded my son at the age of 5 yelling the F word.
Well, not many broadcasters would bring that to the air.
Well, first
He sounds just like his dad.
Yeah.
taught him
Way
the
to
F
go,
word,
Snake.
Right.
and then you recorded it. Okay, do you get it? Say it again. Okay, I'm going to record this time.
That wasn't the first take,
Yell
right?
it, like yell this time. Like really
This time.
More passion.
Oh, wait a minute.
I want that to be a sharp F. Really,
That was
lean into
overmodulated
it.
a
Actor
little bit.
David Denman is 50. That's Pam's ex-boyfriend from The
Let me
Office.
adjust
That's
the
Roy.
recording levels.
Roy kind of creeped me out. I feel like Roy was ready to be mean to her.
Whoa.
Like
Let's get a-
De Niro was to Ileana
Put a
Douglas.
filter on that mic.
Actor J.A.Y.R. Ferguson is 49. He's from Mad Men, and I don't know who that is from Mad Men.
Mad Men.
Born in Dallas.
I
Stan
believe he was-
Rizzo.
Don't remember
Kurt
Stan. Anyone from Mad Men?
Yeah, I recognize this guy.
he's one of the younger
Let me
guys.
see. Oh, you're on the...
I'm on the stupid
Yeah.
computer.
Why, you're
Sorry.
not, where's your laptop?
Right here.
God.
Son,
what are you doing? Why are you
Giant
doing
laser.
that?
He's double computering.
Sean is the first human not named Norm to ever use that computer.
Look how big that thing is.
Yeah.
He had a
him.
beard in the show.
Yeah.
He was the stoner writer.
Yes, kind of the hippie guy. Yeah.
Did you have to ask Norm his log on to get that Acer to work?
Norm's still logged in.
Get down and crank it up.
Actor
Model
Pierce
T.
Gagnon is 18 from Looper. Must have been a small child when Looper was made.
Internet through America Online.
Born on this day now dead, Emmett Till. The great Estelle Getty. Was she the oldest of the Golden Girls? But
she was
the
40.
youngest.
She was the youngest, but she was playing the oldest.
Yeah.
Legend.
Very confusing. She was 38. Nate Thurman, born on this day now dead. Dan? Walter Payton, born on this day now dead. How old would Walter Payton be right now?
Let's go
70?
Born in 53, so what?
Boy, this would be a milestone for him. This would be 70 right down the nose.
What's up, bitch? Mitzi Shore, Polly's mom and owner of the Comedy Store.
Boy, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Dead on this day, still dead. In 1993, at the age of 87, we lost Vincent Schaefer, who invented cloud seeding. Doesn't really work, does it? Otherwise, we would never be in drought. I don't know, man.
If we can seed clouds, why don't we do them here?
Right.
That would probably cool things off a little bit.
We lost in 1997 at the age of 84. He was 1 year away from being able to listen to you, Bob, on the radio and know who you are, Ben Hogan.
Heard a good Ben Hogan story this morning.
1 year away.
Are you going to keep us in suspense?
Yeah, come on. That's a tease.
Yeah.
I've learned a long time ago that the ticket is not the format for good Ben Hogan stories.
Man. All right.
Wow. In 1997, we lost Dora Maar. That's Picasso's girlfriend. So she made a suicide pact with Ben Hogan, it appears. He died in 73. She was 89 years old.
Boy, music.
The last surviving soldier from World War I died in 2009. He was 111. And his name was Harry Patch.
Big
Harry Patch.
Harry Patch.
Big,
small
Harry
patch.
Very soft fur.
And now you know.
Now you know the
balloons.
rest of the story.
5, 4.
So what are you going on your show today?
Ooh. I don't know.
And you're done.
We're doing Molly.
No, I'm not going to be here.
Let's go.
Bye, Sean. Bye, Baldy.
Broadcasting. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to Dave.
Hey, Dave. Thank you. Thank you very much. The impressive start for Barbie continues as they added 26 million on Monday.
On Monday?
That's the best Monday in the history of the Warner Brothers studio. The previous record was The Dark Knight in 2008, which earned 24.6 million.
Okay, that doesn't compute. The Dark Knight was just beaten out by Barbie. And The Dark Knight is regarded as that was an incredible film.
Yeah.
Not that Barbie isn't, because we'll talk about that at 5:50 because we went and saw it, but
if you try to tell me it's better than The Dark Knight,
it's not.
We're going to fight.
It's not.
Okay.
So that brings Barbie's box office total domestically to 188 million at this point.
Unreal.
Oppenheimer, for its part, had a great Monday as well, which I contributed to. 12.6 million. So 95 million total for Oppenheimer. So it'll cross over the 100 million mark tomorrow. Or today, I guess.
Yeah.
Today's showing.
It's probably already done it.
Yeah. Speaking of Oppenheimer, I told you, Bob, that I was very worried that because I didn't sleep well on Sunday night.
Yes.
You're
worried about the Rangers.
That I might doze off towards the end of the 3-hour movie that began at 8 p.m. last night.
Mm-hmm.
But I did make it. I made it all the way to the closing credits.
Did it actually start at 8:30?
8:25, probably 8:20.
So it ended at what time?
I can't remember what time we got home. I looked at it, but I forgot. I think we walked out of the theater maybe 11.
Did your wife make it without sleeping?
Yeah, she made it too.
Okay.
We both enjoyed it. I know we'll talk about Oppenheimer later in the week or maybe next week once everybody has a chance to see it. Speaking of the Barbie culture wars, you intimated this earlier, Bob, about the China controversy.
China.
And Ted Cruz, my evil doppelganger, pre-Soda Dave doppelganger.
That's right, not anymore.
So Ted Cruz, he admits he hasn't seen the film.
Oh, my God.
But he said that the movie kisses up to the Chinese Communist Party because they want to make money selling the movie in China. And so there's a montage where Barbie and Ken are traveling to the real world, and it shows a map. And I guess on the map, it shows the 9-dash line that favors China's territorial claims of the South China Sea.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
No.
That's what he's complaining about?
Yes.
He's absolutely not kidding because I sat there and watched the entire clip an idiot.
That map that is thrown out there is the most kindergarten map that is on screen for like 5 seconds. You can't tell anything unless you screenshot it and then blow it up.
China can tell.
There's not a chance in hell anybody knew what was on that map. Seriously. This is so stupid. We're so dumb.
You know what?
We're so dumb.
I do wonder in the cable news world, how many politicians have somebody on their staff to figure out ways to get them 15 minutes on cable news to like help their candidacies or their Q rating, their ultimate hopes of being a president or Supreme Court justice or whatever their end game is for these guys who frequently show up on cable news. They have to manufacture outrage about things they don't even care about, right?
Would you like to hear some more manufactured outrage?
If this is longer than 25 seconds, I'm going to blow my head off, but go ahead.
Only if it's Ben Shapiro.
We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Matt Walsh, podcaster, he says Barbie is the most aggressively anti-man feminist propaganda ever put to film. Ginger Gates, the wife of Matt Gates, called for a Barbie boycott and was disappointed in Ryan Gosling's disappointingly low-T beta energy Ken.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
Ben Shapiro, as you mentioned, Bob.
Yes.
He ranted for 43 minutes on YouTube the other day, and he says the basic premise of the film, politically speaking, is that men and women are on two sides and they hate each other. And he predicted that Barbie is going to fall off a cliff at the box office, that there's not going to be any repeat business. And then for revenge, he set fire to Barbie dolls on a barbecue.
What are we doing?
It's like Dave Starr's shirt.
Like our whole lives
Our
now.
universe is a Saturday Night Live bit.
It is. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's 100% an SNL bit. Like, what is happening? Do you think Ted Cruz, when he got the call from some lame ass that works for him, he's like, got a screenshot of the map, and you're not going to believe this. Do you think he thought for a second, like, bro, you know, it's
No, he
Barbie.
was thinking about how many clicks and likes he's going to get.
It's just Barbie.
And speaking of clicks and likes, Elon tweeted or X'd, if you take a shot, like, you know, if you do a shot, every time Barbie says the word patriarchy, you'll pass out before the movie ends. So he had to weigh in, too.
All right. Great.
All right, then.
And we're dead.
When I was at Oppenheimer last night, we did get there mid-previews, but I got there in time to see the last preview. And the last preview before Oppenheimer, I don't know if this is at every movie house, but the one that I saw, it's a trailer for The Exorcist Believer.
Oh, my God.
Is this a prequel or sequel?
It's a sequel. So, of course, The Exorcist, the one of the most famous horror movies ever made in 1973. It was nominated for Best Picture. It is being revisited by Blumhouse and David Gordon Green.
Ooh, he did the Halloween.
Yeah, they
trilogy.
teamed up for the Halloween reboot.
And that is Danny McBride's partner.
Yes, and Danny McBride, who co-wrote the Halloween films with David Gordon Green, is reuniting with David Gordon Green to help write The Exorcist Believer.
No way.
Yes, so Danny McBride and David Gordon Green and Blumhouse are doing a trilogy of Exorcist films. And so this first one is going to be released on Friday the 13th.
May the 9th.
May 9th.
Did it look creepy?
Yes. Okay, so it is actually coming out Friday the 13th this October.
Yeah.
And Ellen Bernstein is in it. She plays the mother, Chris McNeil, in the original.
Yep.
She makes a return in this one. And so, not to give up too much information, but just what the basic premise is from the trailer is you have two girls that are, maybe 8 or 9 years old, and they disappear. They get lost in the woods, and they are gone for 3 days, but when they're found, they think it's just been a couple of hours, and then it turns out that they have both been possessed.
They're all witched out.
Yeah.
The trailer is 10 times scarier than anything in the original Exorcist.
Are you serious?
It looks really, really creepy.
You don't know part of it?
It's the creepiest thing I've ever seen. But we got to go.
I ain't doing it.
And the girls,
we got to see it.
When they get all exorcisted out,
yeah,
and their eyes are all bloodshot, and they have things carved in their face with their fingernails, and their hair is all crazy. And
obviously this is like a career-defining thing if this is successful for any actor, any young actor. But if you're a parent and you have your kid going to read for this, do you know how freaking creepy that is? You're sending your 8-year-old daughter off to read for her being possessed by the devil and, like Dave's saying, putting crap on her head and eyes bugging out and her head twisting around and
crab walking in a nightgown.
Yes, vomit shooting out everywhere. That's my little baby. That was 8 years ago in my belly.
Finally got a part.
Cross in places it shouldn't be.
We're so proud of the part she got.
By the way, David Gordon Green, Richardson High.
Really?
Yeah.
We should get him on.
Dude, I've thrown this out there. I mean, he's part of that whole Danny McBride universe. He went to UT. He's from Richardson. Yeah.
Well, if anybody went to school with him, tell him that the Hardline would love to help promote his film in October.
He's 48. He's in our wheelhouse. Like, I don't know anybody that knows him, though. I can't
Have him
figure
call
it
the
out.
helpline.
Good idea.
Yeah, call the helpline.
Maybe Liam Takahashi knows him.
That would be wonderful.
Pete Davidson is in the clear. He did not plead guilty or even no contest to plowing his car into a Beverly Hills home back in March. But he has been sentenced to 50 hours of community service. He's also going to have to complete 12 hours of traffic school and attend a course on victims of reckless driving at a morgue.
Huh?
That's a interesting side note to that. No, a morgue, not a bork.
A morgue.
So he needs to complete all of this within 18 months, but they say, even though it occurred in California, that he can do this in New York. And so his counsel says that he's probably going to do his community service with the New York Fire Department because, of course, his history and his father's history.
That's right.
Late father's history with the NYFD. So, yeah, he had one misdemeanor count of reckless driving. He was driving in his vehicle with his girlfriend, Chase Suey Wonders. And
he's got a girlfriend.
Yeah. They went over a curb.
Can this guy not just have a date?
Right.
Like, why does he always have a girlfriend?
They went over a curb, hit a fire hydrant, and then ran into the side of the house. But there evidently were no drugs or alcohol that were a factor. I guess just excessive speed. He lost control.
Yeah.
So that's your update on Pete Davidson. A couple of music stories for you before we go. Further follow-up on Jason Aldean and the Try That in a Small Town. Of course, this controversy has made him have his most successful single of his career.
It's unbelievable. But we did say that exact thing when this story broke, that this was going to turn into Morgan Wallen, and suddenly he can't do anything wrong.
Right. It came out in May. It didn't chart until now. It entered not the country charts, the Billboard 100 at number 2.
Way to go, Corby.
Just behind former BTS member Jungkook's single 7.
Jungkook?
Yes. Whoa. That's his name. So it's
no disrespect.
None.
It was the biggest sales week for a country song in over 10 years.
Oh my God! And that song is such garbage. And the people that are does this?
Yeah,
it's not even
a good song.
No, okay, I'm being dead serious. I need to know this from an empirical standpoint. Because we know people aren't purchasing songs anymore. That doesn't exist. So the Billboard Top 100 is based on how many times songs are streamed.
Well, no, it's based on sales, streaming, and radio airplay.
But sales is so small that it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, well, it's sold like 220,000 singles this past week.
Is it people going, well, what is this song? Like Mino did it. I did it. I clicked on and played the song to listen to it.
There are people playing it on repeat.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's so bad. I saw the further Isbell over the weekend that, Isbell went after him like, you don't even, and that's the other thing. Aldean's not going to get a nickel off this. It's the people that wrote the song that get all the money for this. He ain't getting crap.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
maybe a skosh.
Yeah, I guess. Well, sales of the album, he'll get a piece of that.
Maybe so, or spins of the album.
Is it possible Barbie and Jason Aldean have proven to us that the entire concept of canceling is stupid and untrue?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or that the simulation is on the verge of crashing.
That both have set records for income, and they were both going to claim to be canceled at some point.
But that song's called Small Town, and, it's I'm sure you know what it's about. But Isbell was like, hey, you know what we did in my small town? We wrote our own songs.
Yeah, we had that at the end of last week.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then he furthered it. He was like, seriously, Jason, I challenge you. Get in a room and write a song. And stand behind that. And no response from Aldean, who just wants that.
There's no reason for Aldean to engage on that.
No.
Well, he couldn't hear Jason Isbell because he had millions in his ears plugging his hearing.
Right.
That's very difficult.
True.
All right, we have one more thing to listen to. One more. Bam Margera.
Oh, no.
Bingo.
Is back in the news. So we've checked in with Bam because he was on the lam for a while. He went into detox and then he left. He threatened to smoke crack until he died unless he was able to visit his son. He was of course fired from Jackass Forever over drug use. And so he has done a guest verse in a brand new rap tune from Australian rapper Colt Shada. The single is called Feel Like Bam. And this is Bam's verse. This is a little bit of the chorus and then his verse.
I had to rise from the ashes. I had to take a lesson from the darkness. Yeah, watch me at the family fun center.
That's him?
I'm on a slip and slide, and I'm naked as and I'm sliding aside 10 with the 10 feet wide. Oh yeah, woo-dee-woo, oh no, yeah, look what I can do. So drop the mittens in the ring, double dare Knoxville, he's gonna be there. So find out if he has the stuff to find out when I'm gonna you up. Just stand back and laugh.
Everything
is that real?
Is Saturday Night Live. Our whole life is now Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, so he double dares Knoxville to drop the gloves and find out that he's going to F him up.
I can't get past I'm on a slip and slide and I'm naked as S.
Yeah, and my D is 10 feet wide.
Okay, congratulations. Great, Bam.
Yeah.
All right.
Great flow, Bam. Amazing.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Get the Steak Podcast at patreon.com/sportsgreek.
All right, so over the weekend, Davey, I know you went and saw Barbie, and I saw it yesterday with my youngest up in St. Louis, and I haven't read much about, I didn't read much about the movie itself going into it. I mean, I knew obviously that Barbie and Ken made their way to the real world. But beyond that, I didn't really know much about it. Mino, you saw it as well.
No, I saw Oppie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You saw Oppenheimer. Okay.
I will.
So I don't know what you knew going into it.
Not much.
Kind of a blank slate?
Yeah.
And we're not going to give away too much here because I do think if you want to go see it, you want to know, you don't want to know too much. And we're going to be respectful of that. But yeah, you knew that Margot Robbie was Barbie. You knew that Ryan Gosling was Ken. You knew that it was set in the make-believe world of Barbie and Ken. You could tell that by the trailers. You could tell that by anybody that you talked to. I didn't realize how insanely Inception-y weird it was going to be, you know?
Yeah, it's wildly imaginative and super weird, which I thoroughly appreciated.
I did too. So the thing about movies now, if they're not Fast and the Furious or they're not Star Wars or they're not superhero, you kind of follow a template. You kind of know what you're getting into. And I think that especially since COVID, where people haven't really started going back to the theater, and it sounds like in this weekend that's everything flipped because of this crazy, insane thing that became Barbenheimer. But I feel like this is what movies were made to be. They're supposed to be, right? Like insanity where you don't know which way it's really headed. It's colorful. It's like you said, it's super imaginative. You've never seen anything like this. Whether you like it or you dislike it, not a chance in hell you've seen anything like this.
Yeah, and I think the best thing I can say about it is while it definitely has an agenda, you know, the talking heads that are calling it the most woke feminist piece of trash and all of that. Yes, it does lampoon the patriarchy, and it does have, because Barbie is a product of feminism.
Right.
The toy was made to make girls feel better about themselves and show them the possibilities of life as a woman in America.
Right. That's why there are all the different Barbies.
Yeah. So I understand that it does have some subtext and an agenda, but it doesn't take itself seriously.
God,
and
no.
The fact that not only do they lampoon toxic masculinity and the patriarchy, but it definitely goes after, the vapidity of women sometimes. It goes after Barbie as an icon. It goes after Mattel.
Yeah, I mean, think about this. This is a Mattel production, okay? This is really the first monster movie that Mattel has been a part of, I think, or at least from a money-making standpoint,
right.
A box office standpoint. It's going to make, obviously, so much money, and there's no end in sight. Like Dave said during Enews, the thing made $160 million over the weekend. It made $26 million yesterday, which is a record. So the fact that the comedy is so out there, the fact that the Will Ferrell character is out there, and the fact that Mattel was willing to put this movie out and then turn the guns on themselves to make themselves look equally as ridiculous as everything you just mentioned, like the self-deprecating nature of this, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that because Mattel is involved. You go to Mattel headquarters, which Will Ferrell runs, and it's so comedically awful the way that the business is set up, the way that the corporation is set up, the things that they're trying to do. I mean, I've never seen anything like it before.
And the quote-unquote real world, not only about the relationship between men and women, but it also talks about what it means to be human and how people bond with their toys, people work through different parts of their life with their toys, and that it's part of your emotional journey growing from a kid to an adult.
Sure. Or from a small kid into a bigger kid, and it's a lot like Toy Story when Andy had to finally get rid of his toys and how emotional that was, or he passed them down to whatever. it's that journey that every kid has, where it's sometime around 13 or 14, you look at what you did when you were 6 or 7, and you're like, that's little kid stuff. That's not for me anymore.
Yeah.
It's just kid stuff.
It's just kid stuff. But it's so smart in the way it tackles everything, and it's such an acid trippy feel with the color scheme, with the fake Barbie land that they live in.
Plastic water.
Yes, yeah. There's just so many things that are absolutely hilarious and hilariously dumb and dumb in of itself. I don't know. I thought it was. I probably could have cut out 30 minutes, but I think I say that about every movie that I see.
How long?
2. It's solid 2. I believe.
It's not just about Barbie's journey or America Ferrera and is that her name? America Ferrera and her daughter, and because she works for Mattel.
Right.
And so it's about their journey as well, but it's also about Ken's journey too.
Yeah.
And
which is
Ryan
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. There were a lot of people that objected to his casting because they're like, he's too old. I mean, one, he looks shredded. He looks great in this movie, and he's so flippin' funny. He
makes the movie. Did you see it,
He
Ham?
steals the movie.
Watched it last night.
Okay, jump in here then.
Yeah, he steals the movie, but it's interesting the way they approach Ken because he's Beach Ken. They have all the different Kens and all the different Barbies, and then you have Midge and Alan, like these cast-off Mattel toys that still are in Barbie land.
Yeah.
But, it shows how Ken in Barbie land is only there to be arm candy for Barbie. And he only exists to be reflected in Barbie's eyes. And then when Barbie is off with the other Barbies, he's lost. He's like, I have no purpose.
Right.
And then he goes to the real world and he sees how in the real world it's the exact opposite. That men have all the power and women are following the men around and trying to get the attention of the men. And so to see his tiny little Ken brain, his plastic Ken brain process this information and then go back to Barbie land and try to enact change there. It's so ingenious the way everything comes together.
He's the best. Did you think Ham Ken was the best part of it? Yeah, dude. I mean, Gosling was great. He's perfect for that role.
I mean, Kate McKinnon as Weird Barbie is great too.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bob, Kate McKinnon's in this.
She is not
She's not in the AT&T commercial.
She is not over the top Kate McKinnon. It is a very.
She knows no other way.
No, it is a.
You're not selling Bob on this movie.
For Kate McKinnon, it is a restrained performance. Would you not say?
Oh yeah, for sure. But it was again for me. It was more about going to see a movie that was so original because even like I was telling my friends up in St. Louis, and they're not clued in as far as the cultural tent poles that are going on right now. And like, why would you want to go see Barbie? I'm like, dude, I hear it's super smart and super funny, and it's not a little girl's movie. So when you think of seeing Barbie, like even you're like, well, I may go. You can't go see it by yourself. You got to take a kid or a girl.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And
this is a movie.
We haven't even mentioned Margot Robbie, and she's. I mean,
she's
obviously
great.
she's beautiful, but she is just so kind and likable and sweet as Barbie because she is like just the epitome of the all-American sweet girl, but she's just having this existential crisis. Like she starts having thoughts of death because thoughts from the real world are coming into Barbie land because she is bonded with America Ferrera and her daughter because they have her Barbie.
I'll offset Kate McKinnon.
Okay.
All right, let's push her aside, and I will give you Michael Cera.
Yes, Michael Cera as Alan.
Oh, right? Wow.
Ken's feeble friend Alan.
Weak friend Alan.
Is he still playing Michael Cera?
Basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah, a little bit.
I see Dua Lipa's in it too.
Yeah, Dua Lipa has a little role.
She's Mermaid Barbie.
Yeah, she's got a little role in it. So there's a lot of people that you're like, wait, yeah, okay, cool.
So how'd Mr. Van handle your pitch?
He liked it.
No, but when you originally pitched it to him, did
go
you have
see
to,
Barbie?
Did you have to?
No.
Okay, he was into it the whole time.
Yeah. Like kids, I don't think they look at it like, oh, I'm not going to see Barbie. They don't look at it like boys don't look at it like they're going to see Frozen, because which they wouldn't do. Like my kid would not go see Frozen if his life depended on it. This is totally different. And if you've seen just the trailer of it, you know that it's not a little girl's movie. And as I said before, like, it's fine for little girls to go see it, but they're not going to get this. This is like when we used to watch Bugs Bunny and didn't get the jokes because they were too adult. Little girls will enjoy this, but they're not going to know what the hell is going on. That's not going to make sense to them. 7-year-old girls?
Yeah, no.
It's not. I mean, I think they'll enjoy it just because it's Barbie and she's pretty and there's some things that are funny and you'll get, relationship type stuff. But the overall meaning of it all and the journey of it all, no, they're not going to get it. And that's got to kind of be weird for, I think, parents of little girls that are like, oh, I want to go see it. I want to go see it. And then they go see it and they're like, Mom, what just happened?
But it's so
it's
so dazzling. It's so dazzling to look at.
It
that
is.
They'll enjoy it.
It's spectacular to look at.
But as an adult, as a male, a beta male watching this, I definitely had at least a half dozen, if not more, laugh out loud moments. And
oh yeah,
and I heard Jubb's surprising review on the Musers the other day, and I, like Jubb, I did tear up at the end because it is emotional, and it is just really getting to just what it is to be human and the fragility of our existence.
And Will Ferrell's great.
He always is.
Yeah, playing Will Ferrell, of course. Ham, did you like it?
Oh, yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Very self-aware.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And again, the fact that they're willing, everybody is, if you're in this movie at all, then you're going to get taken down, basically.
Right.
Whatever stereotype you're portraying.
Like Matchbox 20.
Dude, yes. Oh, my God. I had no idea. I don't even want to talk about the songs that are in there. I didn't even know that was part of the movie.
Yeah.
Until it went on.
Push is the Ken's favorite song.
Did you go see did you go to Alamo by chance to see it? Okay. I got there 30 minutes early. We got there super early because we wanted to eat beforehand. We were starved. And they're running all the old Barbie commercials from the 50s, 60s, 70s, whenever it was created. And then at the end of it, did you know Ryan Gosling's bit? That Ryan Gosling was like a Mouseketeer and
yeah.
I didn't know any of that.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, he was a Disney kid.
I had no idea. Did you know that he was a Disney kid?
No.
And they've got these, old.
I thought his life started at The Notebook.
No, he was in Remember the Titans too.
Really?
He was the spare corner that got benched.
Dude, he was this cheesy, nerdy little MC Hammer dance kid and song and dance. I had no idea he was a child actor at all. No clue until I saw that. I'm like, what? It was fun, man. It's a lot of fun.
So, Dave, you've seen both of these movies. Which one did you enjoy more?
Man, that's tough.
So different.
Yeah, I might say Barbie. Because Oppenheimer was so heavy, and it's so well done. But, I liked Interstellar better than Oppenheimer, personally.
Really?
Maybe it's just because I like sci-fi more than historical drama, but I don't know. It's so hard to say because they're so wildly different.
Well, they both killed it. They absolutely killed it.
Well, that's Movie Buzz.
All right, let us do a little community quick hits.
A conviction in the high school shooting.
Oh, yes. Here is Dave.
Thank you. We need to catch up on a big local story that wrapped up in the last few days. So last Friday, a Tarrant County jury found Timothy Simpkins guilty of attempted capital murder in the 2021 Timberview High School shooting in Mansfield. And then late yesterday, he was sentenced by that same jury to 12 years in prison. He could have faced life in prison. He got 12 years.
Because the victim didn't die, did they?
No. 3 people were hospitalized after being shot.
Victims.
Yes. So it was on the Timberview High School campus on October 6, 2021, and there was a brawl, and a 15-year-old was pummeling Simpkins, who was 18 at the time. He's 19 now. And Simpkins pulled out a handgun from his backpack and fired at his attacker and also struck another student and a teacher. So 3 people went to the hospital. They all survived. And so on the one hand, defense attorneys were saying that he was a kind-hearted boy who was the victim of bullying.
Right.
And then prosecutors were saying, no, he sold weed and he was reckless firing his weapon at a school and he was intending to kill someone. And they had a digital forensics officer from Arlington that had gone into his phone and his computer search history, and he had texted friends in the days leading up to the shooting, got to get them before they get us, and I'm going to kill them both, talking about the kids that were bullying him, and also that he was searching for extended magazines for a Glock, and 6 days before the shooting he searched how much time you might spend in prison if you shoot someone at school who tries to fight you. So it was somewhat premeditated for sure.
Yeah, and I wish he would have gotten a little more time, and I hope this is a lesson to those who are bullies, and obviously to those that plan on, like the guy searched, how much time if I shoot somebody. The bullying thing has to stop, and I know we've been saying that for centuries, but it would seem like now that bullying back in the day was kind of reserved for just the school, it seemed like. You didn't really go home and talk to your parents about it. You kind of bottled up the anger, I think, if you were the kid being bullied. But now it's out there, and there are campaigns going on, and
it's gotten worse now with cyberbullying.
Yeah,
it's
that's
all
the worst
online.
part. Yeah. And I'm just thinking in my head,
it doesn't end when you go home. You don't have a safe haven anymore.
Yeah, and in my head, I'm just thinking of the physical bullying. I guess I'm not relating it to the psychological warfare that goes on online. But I hope this is a lesson that if you are one of these kids that's the perpetual bully, man, you don't know what's going to set these kids off.
Right. Just like we said, just road rage. Never engage someone on the road because you don't know who has a gun under their seat or in their glove box.
Right.
You just don't know what can happen.
Right. And as for those that decide to bring a gun to school, yes, you're going to get at least 10 years. And if one of those people would have died, you're gone for life.
Yeah, so Simpkins did not take the stand in his defense during the trial, but he did during sentencing, and he did break down on the stand. He said, what I did was very, very wrong, and I'm sorry. What I ask for is another chance. So he will have another chance, but he'll be in his late 20s or early 30s by that point.
Yeah.
Big story near Love Field today as Dallas police shot and wounded a man following a car chase near Love Field. This began just after 11 o'clock this morning, Lemon Avenue near University. Officers were surveilling a stolen U-Haul when a man drove off, intentionally hitting the police vehicle and leading them on a chase. He then crashed that U-Haul into several vehicles, bailed out, and ran towards a building. And as he was about to enter the building, he turned and fired at the officer, at which point the officer fired back, hit him in the leg, and he was taken to a hospital. He was apprehended, taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. So no officers were reported injured, but it was a huge scene right outside the Frontiers of Flight Museum where the car, the U-Haul was crashed.
Wait, someone just stole a U-Haul?
Well, I don't know what was in the U-Haul. I don't know if it had been used in another crime. We don't have a whole lot of details. We just know
that would seem like a weird
that it was
thing
a
to
suspect
steal.
that was trying to evade officers and ended up being shot.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get more story on what exactly was in the U-Haul, what other charges that suspect faces. Another bizarre story from the Dallas police today. This happened early, I guess, this morning. In the property room at DPD, a police employee was shot in the arm. They were processing evidence when a gun accidentally discharged and shot them in the arm. And they haven't said if the employee shot themselves or if they were accidentally shot by someone else.
So a gun just went off?
Yeah, I guess a gun that was in evidence. Safety was off.
Isn't it standard?
I don't know if they dropped it. I don't know.
Make sure a gun is not loaded when you enter it into evidence.
This is like
seems like
what would happen if Rob Riggle really was a cop. Like just, sorry
just
about that.
Fumbling it.
Yeah.
And we do have a follow up from a community quick hit yesterday.
Monday follow up.
We talked about the 15-year-old in Brookston, Texas, who was the subject of an Amber Alert. And we weren't sure. She was picked up by a 22-year-old man, and we didn't know anything about their relationship, whether or not she was abducted or if she meant to go with him. Well, she has been found. She has been found safe, and allegedly the two met on social media.
And he's how old?
22. I don't know if he was posing as younger or if she was posing as older, but she was 15, he was 22. And not sure where or when she was found, but she has been found and reunited with her family. So
every day, think about that. How many times does that happen? Let's just limit it to Dallas-Fort Worth. How many times on a daily basis does someone over the age of 21 meet someone in what they're hoping is going to turn into a sexual relationship with someone that's like 15 or younger?
Intentionally targeting younger?
Absolutely.
And it's got to be a daily occurrence.
And with the girl, with the
more than we'd like to know.
Yeah, and with the 15-year-old kind of into it as well, is what I'm saying. Not like she thinks that, he goes to the rival high school down the road. No. That she's like, oh, wow, cool. Because that's just part of it.
Like we just talked about. You have, as a parent, you have to worry about cyberbullying, but you have to worry about cyber predators as well.
Dude, it makes me, and I don't know if I'm being too nosy, but anytime my kids are playing video games, like my youngest is playing video games,
right?
We're always like, who are you playing with? Oh, it's my basketball friends, school friends, tennis friends. Daddy, yeah.
Well, my kid, I don't know if she is super into Roblox anymore. But it's a platform that has it's open source, so people can create games on there. But it's a platform, right?
Yeah.
And that has a chat function. And my daughter was talking to randos, and we had to shut it off.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. You don't know who they are.
Right. Or what their motive is, or if that's, you think about, because these dudes that go about, you don't hear a lot about just people going to the park and offering kids, hey, do you want to come see my pony, or do you want candy? That doesn't happen anymore. Which what we were told, if anybody offers you candy, or if anybody says, hey, you want to come pet my horse in the truck, don't do it.
It's not a horse.
It's not a horse in there. Trust me. That doesn't happen anymore. It's all about these people are getting smarter as far as how they lure people into their web.
It's a longer game now. It's not pulling up in a van and trying to coerce a kid to get in.
Right.
It's to use the trigger word, it's grooming over time and trying to get them to willingly go with you somewhere.
I mean, that was, I'm sure, ingrained into all of our heads, beaten over the head with it, with our mom especially, about someone in a big white van.
Right, the windowless van.
Yes. Yeah. Different times.
Now the internet is the windowless van.
Internet. All right, good stuff, David.